I'm that nurse who stands at the bookends of your life. I was there cheering your mother on, telling her, yes, you can do this. You can birth that baby. I'm also the nurse who told your daughter that it's okay to let you go. It's okay to release you to the other side, into the unknown. I've spent decades in these two sacred doorways of life, and I often felt that something was missing. I offered the best emotional, physical support that I could as a nurse, the best care that I could. I put my heart and soul into it. But I often felt like it just wasn't quite enough. I discovered something that changed everything for me and the patients and the families that I serve. And it's called Reiki. Reiki is a simple, gentle, non-invasive touch therapy that does not replace medicine, but does something that medicine alone cannot do. It brings a stillness to the chaos. It brings comfort when there's no cure. And here is the part that truly lights me up, because it supports everyone in the room, the patient, the loved ones, and even the burnt out nurse. Today, we're going to look at the latest and most honest research on Reiki in palliative care. I'm going to share what the science proves and what the limitations are, and why I believe with my whole heart that Reiki belongs in every hospice, every hospital, in every medical facility, and in every home where a family might be struggling. Because whether you're welcoming a soul into the world or you're holding a space for one to leave, everyone deserves to be seen, soothed, and supported. Grab a cup of tea, take a deep breath, and let's dive in. For those of you who don't know, Reiki is a Japanese technique where practitioners place their hands lightly on or slightly above the body. The word itself means universal life force energy. It's not religion, it's not massage, and it's not replacement for medical care. Instead, Reiki is what we call a complementary therapy used alongside conventional treatments to support the whole person, body, mind, and spirit. Reiki works just as powerfully from a distance because energy is not limited by physical space. Virtual or distance Reiki sessions are equally potent. And in fact, many of my clients tell me that they actually feel deeper relaxation in the comfort of their own home. I have been offering virtual Reiki for years now, and my clients consistently report that the effects last for several days and sometimes up to a full week after a single session. They feel calmer, they sleep better, and they carry a sense of peace that lingers long after we disconnect. And if you're wondering how energy can travel across a distance, let me share something fascinating. There is actual scientific research showing that water quality improves after being sent Reiki, even from afar. A Reiki master and researcher named Torsten Lange teamed up with the renowned Hagalis Institute in Switzerland for a drinking water analysis experiment. Under lab conditions, they tested whether Reiki could improve the quality of water. The results were quite remarkable. The Swiss tap water, which scored as mid-range quality, showing signs of pollution, improved significantly after just 1 hour of Reiki, shifting it towards the quality of natural spring water. Even more incredible, when they tested distance Reiki on the water samples, the crystals became longer and bigger, almost like they were reaching out. The crystallization of the minerals under the microscope changed so clearly that the Institute's director was genuinely surprised. Why does this matter? Because our bodies are what, 60, 70, 80% water? And if Reiki can change the structure of water in a lab, imagine what it can do for you. Now, let me walk you through what a virtual Reiki session actually looks like, because I know many people wonder how energy healing can possibly work through the screen. An online Reiki session is usually guided over video. You and I are in different locations, but the structure is very similar to an in-person session. First, we begin with a brief check-in. I'll ask you how you're feeling physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. Is there anything heavy on your heart? What do you need the most right now? Maybe it's stress relief, better sleep, or just a moment of peace. Then you get comfortable. You can sit or lie down in a quiet space, your bed, your couch, even a hospital room if you're receiving care. Cameras can stay on or off, whatever feels safest for you. Here's what I recommend having. Wear comfortable clothing, nothing constricting. A blanket if you tend to get cold. Headphones and maybe even an eye mask to block out all distractions. And also have a glass of water for after your session. Then comes the energy work itself. I will guide the session verbally or quietly while you rest. I might use a sound bowl or some sort of guided meditation to help bring you into this time and space. And as I tune into your energy, I work through your chakras, just as I would in person. And if I feel like there's some imbalance in a particular area, I will send a specific Reiki symbol to that area and ask the Reiki to bring harmony into that area of your body, your mind, and your spirit. Because if you're not familiar with chakras, they are these 7 points, energy centers within your body, and they correspond to the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, we'll say, issues that can cause disruption, that can cause imbalance, that can cause dis-ease. Some clients like me to softly describe what I'm feeling, any impressions I'm receiving as I'm working through your energy fields. And others prefer complete silence. It's entirely up to you. Now, here's the part I know you want to know the most. What does a client actually feel during a virtual Reiki session? Well, I'll tell you that experiences vary, but here's what you might feel. Some people feel warmth or tingling, heaviness or lightness, or some people experience a deep, profound rest. Some people experience an emotional release, maybe tears or laughter. Some people fall completely asleep, and that is fine. Others have breakthroughs and realizations. There's no right way to have a Reiki session. The way it happens for you is perfect for you. When the Reiki is complete, I gently bring you back. We take a moment to reorient, to share what you noticed, or simply to sit in the peace before you continue your day. Many people are surprised by how grounded and calming an online session feels, even if they were skeptical going in. So, what does the science actually say? Let's look at the data. First, we're going to talk about pain. A 2025 randomized controlled trial found that Reiki was more effective than sham Reiki or relaxation exercises in reducing pain, anxiety, and stress in cancer patients, with benefits lasting up to 3 months. Another 2025 hospice project tracked 229 patients across 2 different hospice sites. In this study, pain dropped by 49.2%, anxiety decreased by 52.9%, and mood improved by 28%. Whew, that's so good. A separate study of stage 3 and stage 4 cancer patients found that 8 Reiki sessions significantly reduced pain, analgesic use, and fatigue. Let's talk about anxiety and stress. A 2024 meta-analysis published in BMC Palliative Care confirmed Reiki's effectiveness for anxiety, particularly with short-term interventions. And in a 2026 systemic review registered in Prospero, it examined the effects of Reiki and therapeutic touch in palliative and end-of-life care. The review found improvements in symptoms, including, like the ones we've discussed before, pain, anxiety, fatigue, depression, and stress, as well as quality of life domains like sleep, relaxation, energy, hope, and emotional well-being. Reiki for the win. Here's the bottom line for patients. Patients consistently report feeling more relaxed, calmer, and more comfortable after Reiki sessions. And in palliative care, that is everything. But, and this is important, a 2026 systemic review of 9 studies concluded that while patients do report symptom improvement, the overall evidence is limited and will definitely need to talk more about more research later. Now, let's talk about the people who are giving the care. Family caregivers, nurses, hospice staff. They're often forgotten in the equation, but the research is increasingly showing that Reiki supports them too, and in profound ways. The first study, a 2021 randomized controlled trial, studied 42 women who were primary caregivers of cancer patients. Half received 45-minute Reiki sessions once a week for 6 weeks. The other half received sham Reiki. The results? Post-intervention stress scores declined significantly in the Reiki group compared to the sham group. But here's what's fascinating. All the caregivers stated they found the caring process less stressful after the Reiki sessions. Some even reported that their physical complaints decreased. Ooh, that's so good. Reiki reduces the stress levels of caregivers and is effective in regulating blood pressure and pulse rate and provides relief to the caregivers. Beautiful. Second study results I want to share with you is one performed for mothers of hospitalized children. A 2025 randomized controlled trial included 120 mothers with hospitalized children. Over 2 weeks, one group received 4 45-minute Reiki sessions. The result? Anxiety levels dropped significantly from 51 to 43 on the state trait anxiety inventory, while the placebo and the control group showed no change at all. This study is particularly powerful. 35 nurses at a children's hospice in Italy participated in 5 weeks of Reiki sessions. 175 Reiki sessions were given in total, and researchers measured their heart rate, their blood pressure, and their burnout symptoms. The results: heart rates significantly decreased after each session, systolic blood pressure dropped, and critically, emotional exhaustion symptoms decreased significantly by the end of the Reiki trial. The researchers concluded Reiki could be a valid strategy designed to protect healthcare professionals from emotional and physical demands and to create a more supportive workplace for staff and patients alike. I do offer Reiki for healthcare workers, and I also include in that like first responders, EMS, doctors, social workers, those who work in the healthcare field and feel that the stress of working in that field needs to be mitigated. Here's another study for oncology nurses, and it was based around self-care. A 2025 pilot study offered Reiki to oncology nurses. Now, before the program, the nurses had moderate stress and a high risk of reduced personal accomplishment. After the Reiki sessions, stress significantly decreased after each session. Overall stress halved by the program end, halved. Well-being increased by 20% and energy increased by 36%. 100% of the nurses reported personal benefits and 83% reported professional benefits. The takeaway: Reiki is a feasible, well-received, and is effective in reducing stress. It's a valuable self-care tool in high-stress healthcare settings. Now, this is another study about distance Reiki. 2018-2019 study investigated the effects of distance or virtual Reiki on burnout for those in the helping professions. The result: distance Reiki reduced burnout and improved negative mood regulation expectancies. What does this mean? It means even when you can't be in the same room, Reiki can still offer support. A 2021 pilot study explored whether family caregivers could deliver Reiki to cancer patients at home. Now, this is a small study. 6 patient caregiver dyads practiced daily Reiki at home for 3 weeks. The results: large statistical effects were identified for improving fatigue, memory, mood, nausea, and emotional well-being. 83.3% of the participants said that they would recommend self-practice home Reiki. The researchers concluded the at-home Reiki protocol had potential benefits and was feasible and acceptable in promoting good cancer-related outcomes. A feasibility study asked, can we teach hospice family caregivers to give Reiki? The rationale is beautiful. Learning and providing a skill such as Reiki may give caregivers a way to help the patient with symptoms while at the same time feeling useful. Patient and caregiver closeness may even be enhanced. How beautiful is that? Caregivers often feel helpless, and Reiki gives them something to do, something loving, tangible, and calming. The bottom line for caregivers is that Reiki doesn't just help the patient, it reduces caregiver stress. It lowers blood pressure and pulse rates. It decreases anxiety in family members. It reduces emotional exhaustion in nurses. It increases energy and well-being. It provides a sense of purpose and connection, and it can be learned and practiced at home. Now, let's be transparent. The 2026 systemic review of 9 studies concluded that while patients do report symptom improvement, the overall evidence is limited. Why? Because blinding is nearly impossible. You usually know if you're receiving Reiki. This makes placebo-controlled studies difficult. The second challenge is small sample sizes. Many studies are pilot studies with maybe 12, 35, or 42 participants. The third challenge is heterogeneous methods. Heterogeneous methods, what does that mean? It means that the studies vary widely, different session lengths, different frequencies, different outcomes measured. The fourth challenge is publication bias. Studies showing positive results are more likely to get published. We know this in any kind of study. The fifth challenge is that the caregiver research is still emerging. While the results are encouraging, most caregiver studies are small. The 2021 trial on caregivers had just 42 participants, and the nurses study had 35. So the honest conclusion is that we can't make firm, definitive conclusions just yet. More high quality, large scale research is needed. Here's what we do know. Reiki is safe. It is non-invasive. It has no known side effects. Patients and caregivers consistently value the experience of receiving Reiki, even if the science is still catching up. And in palliative care, where the goal is comfort, patient-reported outcomes matter. If someone says they feel less anxious and they feel less pain and they feel more at peace, that is data. That is evidence of the benefit of Reiki. In palliative care, the goal isn't to cure, it is to comfort. And comfort isn't just about pain scores on a clipboard. It is about feeling seen, being soothed and supported at the end of life. Reiki offers something that medicine alone can't always provide. A moment of stillness in the chaos. a human touch when words fail, a sense of peace amid uncertainty, a way for families to participate in care, a tool for nurses to protect themselves from burnout. There's a ripple effect. When a caregiver receives Reiki, they feel calmer. And when they feel calmer, they interact with the patient differently, more patiently, more gently. And the patient feels that. The whole atmosphere shifts. One study put it perfect. Reiki can create a more supportive workplace for staff and patients alike. That's not just about one person. That's about transforming the entire ecosystem of care, which is something I am on a mission to do. Think about this. Reiki doesn't require expensive equipment. It doesn't require a special room. It can be done at the bedside, in the home, in a hospice. It can be done virtually. It is so accessible. Ongoing research is exploring Reiki in pediatric palliative care for both the children and their families. Academic review protocol is underway to evaluate Reiki for symptom burden and quality of life in palliative settings. The field is growing, the evidence is accumulating, and the human stories are undeniable. So after all of this, the research, the statistics, the science showing Reiki can reduce pain by nearly 50% and reduce anxiety by over 50%, after hearing how it supports not just patients, but exhausted caregivers and burnt out nurses, you might be sitting there thinking, well, this sounds beautiful, but how do I actually get this into my life? Where do I even start? Here's the thing. After decades as a nurse, holding hands in the delivery rooms and in the hospice rooms, I have realized something. The system treats the physical space of the disease, but it rarely soothes the soul and the mental and emotional body. And the people who need the most support, the patients, the families, the caregivers, are often the ones left to kind of figure it out alone. So I have created two ways to walk with you. If you're a patient, a caregiver, or a nurse who's running on empty and you just need immediate relief, a pocket of peace in the middle of chaos, I offer virtual Reiki sessions from the comfort of your own bed, your own couch, or even a hospital room. No travel, no stress, just 45 minutes of deep guided relaxation where I channel healing energy to you remotely. What do my clients say? Feel lighter. They sleep better. The knot in their chest loosens. The first time in weeks, they can breathe. Reiki is not a replacement for medical care. It is a companion to the medicine that so many of us are missing. If that sounds like what you need right now, the link to book a virtual session with me is in the description below. So here's what I want you to do. If you are ready for immediate relief, click the link in the description box to book your virtual Reiki session with me. Even one session can change your perception about everything. And if you're ready to transform your entire experience, to become an empowered patient, schedule a Vision for Me call. The link is below in the description box. We will have a real conversation No pressure, no sales pitch, just me listening to your story and seeing if this program is the right fit for you. Because here is what I know to be true deep in my bones from all of those years at the sacred bookends of life. You were never meant to walk this path alone. Whether you are entering this world, leaving it, or loving someone who is, you deserve to be seen, soothed, and supported. The research is clear, and all of those who have experienced Reiki know its truth. I am here ready to walk with you. So take that next step. Click the link. You are worth it. Your loved one is worth it. Again, my name is Kimberly Ray. You can call me K Ray for short. If this video has touched or supported you in any way, please like, subscribe, share. I want to get my message out about the power of Reiki to as many people as possible. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.